Day 38 in a third world prison. It's morning in my prison cell in Punta Gorda, which is essentially a cement room that opens up to the outside world and consists of a cement slab that is approximately 2 feet off the ground, has no cushions, has no pillows, has no blankets. It's just cement that I have to sleep on. And the toilet doesn't flush. So anyone who's been there that's peed or pooped, it's there. And unfortunately, when I arrive, I realize that there's poop in the toilet and of course it smells of poop. So I let the police officers know in Punta Gorda, yo, like, can you please flush this toilet? And they're like, it doesn't flush. And I was like, well, yeah, I know, but after living in a third world country, I know what people do with toilets that don't flush. You just get a bucket, a huge like paint, like a huge bucket like what painters use, fill it with water, and then just pour it down the toilet, and it triggers the flushing mechanism, the flush response. So everything empties out. So I remind them, because I think they know they're just being difficult with me. I'm like, well, all you have to do is just get a big bucket of water and flush it down. So they escort me out, and they just have the janitor take care of it. When I come back, the floor is full of water, and, for the most part, the toilet's a lot cleaner. Also, it's my shower, which is essentially just a cement wall that goes up to my neck. No, it goes over my head. And it's just a barrier between the shower and the door that opens up to the outside. Anyone walking by can look right in and see me, as if I'm an animal. So I'm being treated like an animal. So I painfully get up because it is very painful to sleep on a cement slab. I take my clothes off. I don't have any privacy. They turn on the water for me, and it's basically just this white pipe hanging out from the top of the ceiling, and it just drops water. So I take my shower with the toiletries that I brought. I have to air dry, put on my clothes. Since it's so hot, it doesn't take that long to dry off. And it's actually kind of refreshing when you're putting your clothes on and you're still kind of wet. It kind of cools you off a little bit because it's just so sweltering hot. The police officers come to get me, take me to the courthouse. I ask them, have they heard from Mr. Neal, my lawyer? They say no. I get there, 9:15. The case starts. The judge comes out, starts calling and hearing cases. No lawyer. I just stay prayerful and just keep breathing. And at about 10 a.m., 45 minutes after court has started, but an hour after we're all supposed to be in the courtroom, my lawyer shows. I was so relieved that I don't even have the energy to even address how late he is. The bailiff comes up to me and says, hey, your lawyer's here. He brings the lawyer in. The lawyer has like a really good rapport with the judge and with the bailiffs. Like they all seem to know him very well. And he's very charismatic. And I do notice though that he's bent over, like he's in pain, like his lower back or something. I didn't know. But he kind of like comes over, but he's like, looks like he's in a lot of pain, leans over to me and says, hey, let's go outside. So we go outside and sit outside the courtroom. The whole time my heart is pounding. I couldn't believe how late he was. And he just starts to explain to me the process. He goes on to say, you have no warrants, no criminal warrants in the U.S. We just need to get you back to the U.S., get this over with and get you back to the U.S. I told him that I'm very concerned about my family court case in the United States, and that I feel as though I'm dealing with some serious corruption. And I really want the higher courts to get involved in my case in the U.S. His response is, let's call your cousin, the cousin that hired him. So he FaceTimes before he does that, he takes a selfie with me, and I immediately smile. And then he sends it to my cousin, and then my cousin immediately calls. I immediately told him that since April 18th, so at this point, April 18th, it's May, what is this? It's May 13th. Oh, wow. So at this point, it's been 15 days of diarrhea. 15 straight days of diarrhea. No, I'm not doing that right. I have no idea where that number came from. My math was way off. It's 25 days. 25 days of straight diarrhea. And I told him it's the prison food. And I just start sobbing. I start crying. Like, help me. I'm being tortured. I'm suffering. My cousin just tries to say some encouraging words and says, just get through this. We're going to get you out of there. Later, I tell Mr. Neal about what's really been going on in Central Belize Prison, how I've been treated, and how the head of the prison came and cursed me out after I was dog sick and like literally sweltering and suffering severe dehydration during a heat wave, and not having any clean drinking water on top of having multiple days, consecutive days of diarrhea from the food. So I explained to him about how they were trying to force me to drink water that isn't safe. He offered my lawyer's response was, well, let's maybe try to just keep you out here in the Punta Gorda jail then. It sounds like you might be safer there, your remaining days here until you have to go back. I basically tell him, well, it's not much better in Punta. Like, I'm literally in an outdoor cage. And the cockroaches are pretty bad at night. They're worse than at the prison. Ugh. I said, is there a third option? He just laughed charismatically. And he explained that, with the current administration, a lot of Belizeans just don't like Americans right now, as I guess an attempt to explain why I was being mistreated so badly. I went ahead and explained to him that when I officially was taken into custody, that they would not allow me to contact a lawyer, so that he was aware of that. And I was denied a right to talk to the U.S. Embassy as well. I explained to him that my case in the United States is very complex because there is domestic violence and child abuse involved. And I just really need help and protection and just some solid legal advice, not just what's going on in Belize, but then also what's going on in the U.S. He goes on to explain to me like his legal advice on how to handle this case to get me out of the country as fast as possible. After the court case, he asked the judge to just let me stay in the courtroom, basically because he knew that my conditions in the jail cell was so bad. So he had me stay in the courtroom while he represented his other clients. He said that once my cousin sent him his fee, he would send the fee that I was owed, and he would walk over to immigration so that I could get a quick release.